Well, poetry can take many different forms, and as I read this poem, I've done this similarly with Dublin High students. Only one class with a similar poem actually figured out the form of the poem, so don't feel bad if you don't. In fact, if you can't figure it out, then I've done a really good job. But listen carefully and maybe you'll get some clues. Memento Mori Evermore. The Battle of Evermore starts to play. Jimmy Page on mandolin, each phrase filled with melancholy, voices in ballet. A duet sung years ago, haunting still. Ere I listened to this song, its story spun from slender chords. I pause, am present, aware again of Memento Mori, the ring wraiths in black, riding death's descent. They scatter with the refrain, bring it back, incanted with such sorrow. Plant's rich voice replaces silence, attacks as if knowing there is no tomorrow. Eyes close, tears well. I'm lost inside each verse until notes fall and in darkness disperse. This is actually a Shakespearean sonnet.
Oh.
So Shakespearean sonnet, and the trick for these things is you don't want the form in your face. It's there, but you should only see it on a second reading. Dana Gioia, the former Poet Laureate of California and chair of the National Endowment for the Arts, someone I had the privilege to interview for my podcast, said that form is a tool for the poet, but it's not something that should be guessed on a first reading. So when you're doing Shakespearean sonnet, there are a lot of rules. It's 14 lines. It's iambic pentameter, which is da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I broke that at a few places. It's got a rhyming screen, A, B, A, B, C, C, E, F, E, F, G, G. And it's 10 syllables per line. So the trick here is to not make that obvious. So ways to do that is mixing up the number of syllables. Play, ballet, filled still is the same, but present, descent is like a sort of a half rhyme. Back, attack, sorrow, tomorrow, verse, disperse, and having enjambment where the line doesn't end on the rhyme. Otherwise, you end up with Dr. Seuss. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da rhyme, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da rhyme, which is really good for children's books where predictability is a useful tool, but for adults, it needs to be more subtle. So I do some poems that are more structured in nature, and then a lot of mine are free verse. But this takes hours and hours to untangle the riddle. And if you change a word here, you got to change its partner. So you got to really think it through.